Tonight, the entire world is in complete shock. The cameras have ceased to record. There are no lights on. However, Jim Jones just had an angry outburst that rocked the entire building and left Chrissy Lampkin crying. So the echoes of what happened backstage haven't gone away yet. There was shouting, slamming doors, and security running, according to witnesses. And the woman who supported Jim through years of drama, Chrissy, broke down in the midst of it all, sobbing hysterically and expressing things that no one ever expected to hear. "I am no longer able to do this. This goes beyond mere rumors. This is real-time heartbreak captured on camera." As stated by, according to several insiders, the backstage conflict wasn't straightforward. It was the simultaneous explosion of years of suppressed hurt, betrayal, envy, and secret truth. According to a person close to the pair, Chrissy appeared to have lost her mind. Jim's words back there were really hurtful. As fans search for answers, social media is exploding. Jim is seen yelling at someone off camera while pacing wildly in a leaked video. Chrissy, meanwhile, is seen sobbing and gripping her face as she begs him to stop. Her sad, desperate voice is currently trending everywhere. The hashtag Pray for Rissy. It's already at the top of the charts everywhere. What led Jim Jones to this point, however, is the question that everyone is asking. More significantly, what was it Chrissy heard that caused her to collapse in front of everyone? Because this wasn't simply a tantrum, according to insiders. The confession had the potential to ruin everything they had worked so hard to achieve. The evening began similarly to any other high-profile hip-hop events. Designer outfits, flashing cameras, and smiles that concealed tales no one dared to share. Jim Jones had just left the stage following an unexpected performance that left the audience in a frenzy. However, what? Nobody noticed when the lights went out. Something was about to happen. The atmosphere changed backstage. According to witnesses, Jim's demeanor abruptly changed. His face tight with rage, his hands clenched, he stormed down the corridor after laughing with the team. Some attempted to speak with him. Nobody was able to connect. The anxiety was palpable. A whisper came from an insider. It was more than fury. It hurt. He wasn't holding back, since something had just triggered him. Chrissy trailed closely behind, attempting to soothe him. Her voice was quiet but urgent as she begged, captured on camera. A leaked clip from a crew member's phone shows the moment everything broke apart, with Jim yelling, "I'm tired of pretending. Please don't like this, Jim," she pleaded, reaching out to grab his arm, but he retreated, pacing in circles like a man possessed. "I've had enough of silence." People stopped. For years, the whole backstage area was silent. No one anticipated this, but fans had noticed hints of tension between the two. Little disagreements, poignant moments on reality TV, and cryptic postings that suggested things weren't always picture perfect. When Chrissy's voice broke through the commotion, he said, "Jim, please stop. You're scaring me." The security guard, who subsequently spoke anonymously, said he had never seen Jim so furious in his life and described Jim punching a wall, knocking over equipment, screaming about betrayal, and people grinning in his face while moving dirty behind his back. Jim turned towards her, his eyes full of anger and heartache, and although he didn't beat her, the weight of his words hit her more forcefully than any blow could have. "I found out everything," he whispered softly, before yelling, "Everything, Chrissy. Do you really believe that I am unaware of what has been happening behind my back?" Chrissy's face turned pale, her hands began to shake, and she tried to speak, but her voice cracked. "Jim, whatever you think you heard," cut her off. The room went completely quiet. Even security froze. His voice was low but deadly calm, the kind that makes everyone around you afraid to breathe. "Don't lie to me now. Don't do that." Chrissy began to cry, but she wasn't acting. When a loud crash reverberated from behind the curtain, Jim threw a chair across the room, and crew members hurried in to try to defuse the situation, but Jim refused to back down. Witnesses say she covered her face and whispered something no one could quite hear before collapsing into one of her friend's arms. "They all think I'm blind. They all think I'm weak, but I know everything now." I was pacing and muttering things that made everyone uncomfortable. The film leaked minutes later, and someone from the event uploaded a 14-second video online that showed the aftermath. In less than an hour, the video of Chrissy crying, Jim yelling at security, and the general sound of commotion went viral. Twitter exploded, and fans immediately began to speculate. Some claimed it was about money, while others vowed it was about loyalty. That someone close to within minutes, the hashtag Jim and Chrissy went viral, with users bombarding the timeline with theories, screenshots, and old interviews in an attempt to piece the puzzle together. However, the real bomb dropped when a leaked voice note appeared online, in which allegedly recorded minutes were shown. You can hear what appears to be Jim's voice saying, "I saw the messages, before to the argument. The calls reached me. Don't act as though I'm not intelligent. Fans think it's Chrissy because of the woman's voice in the background. Answer gently. It wasn't." Jim snapped backstage because of what it looked like, the audio breaks, and the 5-second tape went viral. Fans crowded the comments section, wanting answers, asking what messages she had sent and who she had called. From covert transactions to past romances, there were 2 unexpected betrayals, and one insider who claimed to be close to the pair informed the Shade Room. Jim found something that changed everything. Cheating wasn't the only thing involved. Trust was at issue, concerning who has been disclosing their private information and feeding misinformation to the blogs. Even the people he loves the most seem to be playing him. Chrissy's emotional collapse became the night's most talked about image as the video spread. With her makeup smudged and still crying, she was hustled into a black SUV by paparazzi outside the event. She didn't answer when asked how she and Jim were doing. "Please, no more questions," was all she said in a whisper, before she drove away into the night. Jim, meanwhile, remained behind. According to sources, he insisted on knowing who had recorded the argument and posted it online before refusing to leave. "Every phone should be scrutinized," he said. Shouted once before his teammates drew him apart. Another witness claims that Jim later said to his manager, "Next time I won't hold back. I swear I won't." That statement put fans into a tailspin. Was it a promise, a warning, or something more sinister? At midnight, more video came to light. This time, Jim is seen sitting by himself backstage with his head in his hands in security camera footage. "I gave everything for this. Everything," he can be heard mumbling. A few moments later, a person who is supposedly a fellow artist tries to comfort him. As followers analyzed every moment, Chrissy finally broke her silence, but not with words. Jim looks up and adds, "They all laugh when I'm down, but watch what happens next." She shared a single black screen image on Instagram with the remark, "I tried." 2 words, no emojis, no explanations were enough to rock the business. Celebrities began to comment. Everyone realized that this wasn't a random argument when Yandy wrote a mysterious tale that read, "Some truths hurt more than lies ever could." Camilla from Love and Hip Hop remarked, "Been there, sis. Stay strong." This was individual. This had been developing for years. However, what set everything off? What had Jim discovered that caused him to blow up like that? What secret did Chrissy not want to share? Because he discovered something about one of her pals, according to a recently leaked message from an anonymous account claiming to be employed inside Jim's camp. And no one realizes how far the betrayal goes. Another video was going to be released, just when the internet believed things could get any messier. A film that would completely upend the narrative and show that perhaps, just possibly, Jim wasn't the only one who had been hiding things all along. New York awoke to anarchy the morning following the blast. One question was circulating through the city that never sleeps. What actually transpired between Chrissy Lampkin and Jim Jones backstage? There was a version on every gossip website. Every influential person had a theory, and all the fans were rushing to make the connections. But a single reality was emerging every minute beneath all the cacophony. It was more than just a brawl. This had been building for years. 7:45 a.m. What they dubbed the second angle was dropped by TMZ. A fresh backstage video was taken from the changing room's corner, revealed something that wasn't in the first video. On the phone with Chrissy, just prior to Jim's breakdown, her tone was serene, even comforting. "No, I'll handle it. He can't find out like this," she replied. Jim's voice booms as the door opens a few seconds later. Jim yells, "Find out what?" Subtitles weren't necessary for fans to find out what. The panic was palpable to them. With her phone still in her grasp, Chrissy froze. She abruptly hung up and muttered, "It's not what you..." But Jim's expression said it all. He had seen enough already. That clip went viral in a matter of minutes. #discover what became viral on Twitter, with people analyzing each picture like detectives. Some vowed that Chrissy was concealing something more sinister than anyone else understood. Some defended her, claiming that the footage was manipulated to give her a guilty appearance. However, the leak that silenced everyone followed. The name of the individual who was on the other end of that call. A source connected to the production claims that Chrissy wasn't conversing with a pal at random. According to reports, she was speaking with a member of Jim's inner circle, a longtime business partner he trusted and who had been around since the Dipset days. According to the source, Jim lost it when he realized that it was treachery on both sides, not just envy. The internet was going crazy by midday. Jim's Instagram was inundated by fans requesting clarification. His final post, which was a picture of him performing with the words "family over fame," turned into a battleground. Another added, "We don't know the truth. Don't crucify her yet." Thousands of comments, half defending him, half dragging Chrissy. "She did you dirty, bro." One person said, "You deserve better." The truth was more repulsive than anyone had anticipated. Just hours before the concert, a series of texts purportedly sent between Jim and one of his close friends were leaked by an unnamed source who claimed to be a member of Jim's security team. "Jim, she's been acting strange," the messages said. "That was the spark before the explosion. Friend, are you sure you want to do this here?" "Jim, if he's man enough to sneak around, he can face me. I'm not holding back. If I see him backstage." A crew member who was interviewed by reporters recounted the events. Just before the cameras began, Chrissy was pacing and rolling. She appeared anxious. She continued to look at her phone. It felt like a storm had swept in when Jim returned. Then, suddenly, a second breach appeared online. A hazy audio clip posted by an unidentified @TruthAboutChrisy Twitter account. The purported recording recorded Chrissy's voice quivering as Jim yelled, "You think I wouldn't find out about the calls about the studio meetings?" There was disagreement among the fans. "It was business, Jim. Just business." According to some, Chrissy was innocent and only misunderstood. Others felt that she had gone too far to be pardoned. When your man is with his folks, you don't conceal phone calls from him. But just when the internet thought they'd figured it out, was one of the tweets that went viral. This was the worst part of the story. A fresh source emerged. A woman asserting that she is in the inner circle of Chrissy. The dispute was about more than devotion, she told Hollywood Unlocked. It has to do with visibility. There was a threat that someone would reveal something significant about Chrissy. Jim learned just prior to his performance. That's why he lost his temper. When questioned about, she wouldn't explain what it was. But a few hours later, a number of enigmatic dimmists showed up online. Screenshots purportedly showed someone threatening to reveal previous footage in an attempt to blackmail Chrissy. She failed to pay. "You think Jim won't find out? I'll make sure he does. You have 24 hours, the messages said. Everything changed after that realization. The story suddenly changed direction. Was Chrissy really the villain, or was she the target of a setup? Fans started to ask, while Jim became silent. Nothing, no stories, no posts. His quiet was unusual for a man who was renowned to express his opinions. Deafening. Rumors then began to circulate that he had moved to Miami from New York in order to have his mind straightened out. However, a fan later that evening uploaded a video outside a Miami lounge that showed Jim with his group, still looking tense. A reporter then yelled, "Are you and Chrissy done for good?" Jim halted, turned to the camera, and icily stated, "Next time, I won't hold back." In less than an hour, the clip alone had over 6 million views. Meanwhile, Chrissy was nowhere to be found. According to pals, she has been distraught after her management apparently canceled all of her events for the week. Since it happened, one friend told the neighborhood discussion, she hasn't stopped sobbing. Despite her love for Jim, she fears that he will never forgive her. According to insiders, she has been attempting to contact him, but none of her calls have been returned. She was blocked by him. The source disclosed every app and every number. He claimed to need space, but as everyone knows, Jim's statements are seldom good. As the situation intensified, supporters started unearthing earlier interviews moments that suddenly appeared to be warning signs. Jim added, "If I ever find out somebody close betrayed me, I'll never look at them the same." That line went viral once more in a love and hip-hop clip that was resurrected. "He meant it," was captioned by tensions boiled over on the second night. A shadowy studio was shown in an enigmatic Instagram live that appeared to be from one of Jim's producers. Jim's irate voice could be heard in the background, shouting, "Everyone plays both sides. Everyone is fake." Fans flooded the comments, certain that the outburst was taking place in real time, and someone weakly responded, "You can't let this destroy you, bro." After a few seconds, the torrent stopped, but it was enough to start a new wave of mayhem. Celebrities began to take sides as social media exploded. Safri posted on Twitter, "Dude, when trust is gone, love is meaningless." Young Jock remarked, "Never undervalue the power of wounded pride." Erica Mena left a comment beneath a gossip article. "Women may keep secrets in order to keep the man they love safe." Fans went into detective mode after reading just one comment alone. "I was certain that Erica was more knowledgeable than she claimed, but it was Chrissy herself who delivered the true gut hit." Fans feared she would never speak again, but she made a surprise appearance on Instagram Live, her eyes red, her voice shaking, and tears in her eyes. She whispered, "I never intended for it to get this far. I never betrayed him. Before things got worse, I was attempting to remedy something." She wiped her tears and wandered off. "I'm not even sure if anything can be saved anymore." The internet didn't sleep though, as the live stream halted abruptly after just 3 minutes. Fans poured in. Her remarks, with expressions of confusion, contempt, and love. Jim was urged to pardon her. She was accused of manipulating others. It was neatly summed up in one tweet. "Drama is no longer the only thing here. This is a public display of anguish." However, a new video was already being circulated in private servers and group chats as Chrissy was crying live. A video that would revolutionize the world. Captured allegedly from a covert Backstage camera. There was a startling twist. The entire time, nobody anticipated the presence of another person in the room. Someone whose presence might completely alter the facts of what actually transpired that evening. And because it wasn't just any face, the internet fell silent when people recognized who it was. Jim had more faith in this person than in his family or their secret. This romantic tale was on the verge of becoming a conflict. Upon the release of the latest footage, the internet went down. Nobody blinked. Nobody scrolled. It was the sort of footage that fully destroyed the narrative, not simply shattered it. Jim and Chrissy were seen mid-aru backstage in the unsteady camera angle. Voices reverberated off the walls of concrete. However, it wasn't what they said that attracted everyone's attention. The shadow in the corner was it. There was another person there the whole time. Someone is recording and someone is watching. A dot. And supporters went crazy when that individual eventually entered the frame. It was none other than Dipset, Jim's longtime friend, and Jowls Santana. In addition to being a brother, they had been like family for more than 20 years. Instantly, the internet took off. Jowls was trending on all platforms in a matter of minutes. Others saw answers as fans yelled, "Wait, was he the one on the phone with Chrissy? Why?"